Chicken
Yeah.
wrap.
Yeah.
You'll be in a bar and there'll be a chicken wrap.
There's like a restaurant in the morning there, there's like chicken wrap. It's like a
Have you guys ever been there?
Yeah.
I need tidbits on
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Cortland City Council. Today is Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. I invite everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a brief prayer. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, we thank you for the privilege and the opportunity to serve you and to serve this city. We ask for your wisdom and guidance on the decisions before us this evening. We also ask that you comfort the Morelli family, a member of our Cortland community, in their time of need. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Rhonda, can I have a roll call?
Jim Bradley.
Here.
Ally McGregor.
Here.
Chelsea Monroe. Here. Kevin Pyros.
Here.
Scott Rowley.
Here.
Chris Wadley.
Here.
John McCurry.
Here. Next up, I'd like to invite David Kovacs from the Cortland Lions Club to the podium to address council.
Well, first, thanks for having me. As you said, I'm here on behalf of the Lions Club of Cortland, and I'm here tonight to announce and seek approval for the street fair. So we are targeting June 25th through the 27th, which is the last Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of June. So with that, I'll open up any questions you may have for me.
Do you have a theme yet?
I think that in honor of our 250th birthday of the country, we're going to honor the French. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Obviously, we're going to honor our veterans. So we had a lot of positive feedback, and we kind of kicked it around amongst the community. So we'll be looking to honor our veterans for that 3 days.
Beautiful, thank you.
All right. Does anyone in council or any of the chiefs have any issue with those dates? All right, consider it approved.
Awesome. Thank you,
Come
guys.
to meet with us. All right, next up, can I have a motion for approval of the minutes from our January 2nd, 2026 council reorganizational meeting?
So moved.
Second. Any questions or corrections? Rhonda, can I have a roll call, please?
Ally McGregor.
Yes.
Chelsea Monroe. Yes. Kevin Pyros.
Yes.
Scott Rowley.
Yes.
Chris Wadley.
Yes.
Jim Bradley.
Yes.
John McCurry.
Yes. Next, can I have a motion for approval of the minutes from our January 5th, 2026 council meeting?
So moved. Second.
Any questions or corrections? Rhonda, can I have a roll call, please?
Chelsea Monroe. Yes. Kevin Pyros.
Yes.
Scott Rowley.
Yes.
Chris Wadley.
Yes.
Jim Bradley.
Yes.
Ally McGregor.
Yes.
John McCurry.
Yes. And I have a motion for the approval of the schedule of bills to be paid totaling $452,461.58.
So moved. Second.
Any questions?
Sir, I'm going to abstain from that due to potential conflict with my employer.
Okay, thank you, noted. Any other questions? All right, can I have a roll call?
Kevin Pyros.
Yes.
Scott Rowley.
Yes.
Chris Wadley.
Abstain.
Jim Bradley.
Yes.
Ally McGregor.
Yes.
Chelsea Monroe. Yes. John McCurry.
Yes. All right, can I have a motion for the approval of bank reconciliation ending December 31st, 2025?
So moved. Second.
All right, any questions? Patty, anything to offer?
Standard January bank reconciliation.
All right. Rhonda, can I have a roll call?
Scott Rowley.
Yes.
Chris Wadley.
Yes.
Jim Bradley.
Yes.
Ally McGregor.
Yes.
Chelsea Monroe. Yes. Kevin Pyros.
Yes.
John McCurry.
Yes. All right, next up, I'd like to open it up to our new public comment period on any pending legislation. Is there anyone that would like to address council on any of the pending legislation before us today? Okay, moving on. First up is old business. First is O-01-26, an ordinance authorizing the fire chief to purchase a new fire hose and nozzles for the Cortland Fire Department. This is a second reading submitted by the fire chief. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Any questions? The chief explained this at the last meeting. No questions? We'll have a roll call.
Chris Waddley,
Yes.
Jim Bradley.
Yes.
Ally McGregor,
Yes.
Chelsea Monroe. Yes. Kevin Pyros.
Yes.
Scott Rowley,
Yes.
John Burkuri.
Yes. Next up is our new business. First up is R-06-26, a resolution authorizing the transfer of $3,000 from the city's primary bank account at Farmers National Bank to the city's health savings account at PNC Bank, submitted by the Finance Director. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Patty?
Okay, this, the health savings account at PNC is where we manage and transfer the funds for our employees' HSA deductibles and the voluntary employee withholdings from their payroll. There's a fee for that every month, and since I've been here, I've not had to transfer any money into there. I've been here since 2017, so $3,000 should take us for another 3-4 years. So, it's just to pay for the funds, to manage the account, the service fees.
All right, any other questions? Okay, can I have a roll call?
Jim Bradley,
Yes.
Ally McGregor,
Yes.
Chelsea Monroe. Yes. Kevin Pyros.
Yes.
Scott Rowley,
Yes.
Chris Waddley,
Yes.
John Burkuri.
Yes. All right, next up is R-07-26, a resolution authorizing the clerk of council to advertise for bids for refuse haulers for the city of Cortland, submitted by the mayor. Can I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Okay, I'm sure there will be some questions about this. Mayor, I guess, do you want to start?
I made the addition to the spec sheet for, just waste only, 1, 2, and 3 cans, as was requested at the last meeting. I still need to look over the contract again and clean up some dates and things that I missed, but,
Okay.
that's all I got.
We do have a guest here, Jennifer Jones, the director of the Geauga Trumbull Solid Waste Management District. She had reached out to the mayor and I both just about this contract and had some suggestions. Those are mostly incorporated into the new document. For example, she did suggest that the 8 weeks for advertising was appropriate and then 6 months for execution, so that whoever is selected, the vendor would have an opportunity to get ramped up to be able to do the work, whether they need to buy a truck or whatever. So that's sort of typical of 6 months. So that will be in the new bid document. Jennifer, if you could maybe go to approach your podium and explain a little bit about recycling. In the current bid document, we have it, and we talked about this at the last meeting, about having an opportunity to maybe opt out of recycling. In talking with Jennifer, and she'll do a much better job explaining this than I will, so I'll let her do that, but it sounds like we need to make a decision as a city and as a council and as an administration whether we want to have recycling or not. Opting out actually makes it not feasible financially for people that do want to recycle. Maybe you can expand upon that.
Sure. So the question was, I listened to your last meeting, and there were some residents and some discussion about giving residents the option. If you put it out to bid, you get bids back. That once you choose a vendor, that the resident at a resident level will be able to say, I want to recycle, I don't want to recycle. This is how much. If I recycle, my bill will be this much. If I don't recycle, my bill will be this much. That doesn't really work with recycling. It either has to be an all or none type decision. When a company comes to bid, the reason why the price they could give you is so low, is lower than just having it in an open market where anybody can choose a hauler, is because that hauler knows that they're going to have 20 people on this road, they're going to have 500 people in this neighborhood, they know that they're gonna get money from every single person in that area. So they can price it according to economy of scale, can figure out how much it's gonna cost for everybody. If you give residents the option to back out, the bidder, whoever that is, when they put their bid in, will have absolutely no idea how many people are going to want to recycle and not. So they are most likely, what will happen, I'm just guessing, based on experience, the haulers are gonna say, either everybody does it or nobody does it, here's your prices. Because, you know, if you do accept the bidding with the recycling on it, everyone will pay that same price. And if you choose not to recycle, that's up to you, but it's sort of like what you have now. It's included in, it's a bundled one price and bundled in. Giving people the option to opt out, not only is it difficult for them to put the bid in, but it's difficult for them, you know, what if 100 people drop out next year? What if 300 add on next year? The pricing is way too, it fluctuates way too much. So I would highly recommend that, you know, of course, I'm biased that I want you to choose a bundling of trash and recycling, because if your residents, if you choose not to do that, if you choose just to go with trash only and not recycling, there are no recycling locations anywhere in Cortland. Your closest ones are Fowler, Mecca, Howland, maybe Vienna. So your residents are going to have to drive significantly to get to a drop-off site, and they're going to have to drive and go to those drop-off sites and recycle like that. Curbside recycling is a great service. Surveys show that most people want to have the ability to recycle. So if you choose to take it away from your residents, I think you're going to have more of a problem than asking the residents who don't necessarily want to recycle to perhaps pay that $1 or $2 more for recycling. It's going to be better for the majority of your residents in the long run. That's just my opinions.
Thank you. All right, council, any questions?
What about pricing on cans? I mean, regular trash receptacles and, maybe not bins anymore, but.
Oh, bins versus carts.
Right.
Okay. For the most part, most vendors who are going to do the bidding process want carts. They want the rolling carts rather than the buckets. You're the only people in all of Trumbull County that have buckets, and pretty much anywhere in Geauga County and Mahoning County, but that's a whole other ball of wax. But they get free recycling from their landfill. They offer them free. So you guys don't have that option. We have no landfills in Trumbull County. It's a service provided free by their landfill. So they do buckets. But even the ones with buckets have been slowly moving to rolling out carts, because it's better for the vendors it's better for you guys because the stuff doesn't blow around everywhere. People are more likely to recycle more because they have a lot more volume available. It's an 18-gallon bucket versus a 64-gallon cart. And they're actually pretty easy to roll around. Even the elderly don't have an issue with those kind of carts. But it's better for the vendors because the drivers don't have to get out of the trucks, so it's a safety issue with them getting hit by cars. At one point, garbage truck drivers were one of the highest killed at work than any other profession, believe it or not, because they kept getting hit by cars. So it's safer for them, it's less workers' comp for them to lift things, and it's easier for them to retain drivers, because if their drivers don't have to get out of the car when it's freezing cold and when it's raining, they're more likely to stay at that job. So they want routes that where they could use the hydraulic arm, pick it up, and dump it. I would say you need to go to carts. Everyone's moving towards carts. If you want to have a good options and get a lot of bids back, I would go with carts. And it shouldn't be that much more money, if anything, because it's just something that is expected at this point.
All right, anybody else?
John, on bid form 8 on page 41, it kind of makes it look like, number one, you either use, and we'll talk about trash right now. It looks like you're either going to use the trash can supplied by the vendor, no more using your personal cart, or you do bag service. Is that correct? So those people who have Rubbermaid or whatever brand of garbage cans, we'll call them cans, and I don't want to use the word cart, garbage cans, they're no longer eligible to do that, because on the previous thing, it says 1 can or bag, 2 can or bag, 3 can or bag, or 1 trash cart, 2 trash cart, 3 trash. I feel like I'm on Sesame Street. 1 trash cart, 2. So it looks like in the existing, it's cans, 1, 2, or 3, or carts, 1, 2, or 3. In the current one, it's either cart. Is that correct, that we're going to do away with individual, because that's the way it's worded?
Well, kind of going along with what Jen was saying, yes.
Okay.
Okay, and whoever the bidder is, they will supply all of the carts.
Okay.
So that'll be a change from what's current, 'cause I think you can bring your own can currently.
Yes, you can. I mean.
Can.
Again, it's open for discussion, but.
So Jennifer, I guess the question is, like on the bid document, we have 1 trash cart with 1 recycling cart. If we wrote 1 can or trash cart with recycling cart, and the resident provides their own can, is that something you typically see on these bid documents, or do they want to use their cart and that's it?
They kind of want to use their carts, though most of the time they will accept if people put things out. Whether or not you want to give a resident a discount if they're using their own cart. But then you run, I'm going to tell you, you run the risk of, they took my cart disappeared, who's going to pay for my cart? You know, if their cart disappears and they're providing it, they have to bring out another one.
Or
But
damage.
Or damages it, right. Because they're the owners of the carts, whoever that vendor is, Republic, WM, whoever, if it gets broken, the wheels break off, the bar that lifts it so you can dump it breaks, they just bring you out another one. You can offer that. I don't know if some of the haulers might just leave that blank, you know, or they might put in their stipulation, we provide the carts, because they want those standardized size for the hydraulic arm, because some of the, you know, cans are vary in size, and some of them they can grab with a hydraulic arm pretty easily, and some they can't, but they prefer to use the ones with the little bar at the bottom, so they can stick the thing up there and they lift it easily, so.
Yeah, Kim, that's what
I would
was gonna
recommend
say.
keeping the cart.
Yeah.
Like my cart at home has a bar at the bottom. You can tell it's designed to work with that vendor's hydraulic arm. You know, they've done testing that they want that cart based using that piece of equipment because it's ergonomically correct and they can fly through the neighborhood as quickly as possible for them as a
Yeah,
business.
my dad has the big cart with
Yeah.
the.
So I think they'll probably, I guess it'll be up to the bidders how they bid.
That's pretty standard though for them to provide the carts
Yeah.
for both recycling and trash, that's kind of what.
So that being said, does that make lines 1, 2, and 3 obsolete on page 41 then? 'Cause
That's what you decide.
well, no, because 1, 2, and 3 say trash cart doesn't reference recycling, but the next 3 lines are trash carts with recycling cart. So if we're gonna do recycling, then 1, 2, and 3 are redundant to 2, 3, 3, 4, and 5.
Right.
Okay.
There was a question from the floor, I don't know if it's okay.
I do have a question.
Yeah,
Hold
oh,
on.
I don't know if you do that yet.
I'll
No,
recognize
that's
you,
fine,
but
hon.
like really the comment periods before we talk about legislation, this is kind of for council to talk, but I'll get to you in
No, that's
a
fine.
second.
Sure.
Go
Just, well, there was just a question from the floor,
Sure.
but what happens to the recyclables when, it does get recycled? Do they get recycled? Yes. Depending on the vendor. One thing to watch when you get your bid package back, depending on the vendor, they recycle, everybody recycles bottles, drugs, jars, cans, paper, cardboard, everybody. Some vendors are able to accept more, like WM and Republic Services, they can accept, tubs, like butter tubs. There's certain things that.
Without a neck.
With
Like
a,
container
yeah, without a
without-
neck, with a snap-on lid, I like to say with a snap-on lid. Some can take cups from McDonald's, you know, the number 5 polypropylene cups. So it's just something, when you're looking at your bid packets, not every recycler is exactly the same. So you ask in the packet, which is great, you ask for what they accept. Make sure you look at that, because it might be different. Right now you have Republic Services, they accept pretty much everything because they process through WM, believe it or not. They take all their stuff, I say WM, that's Waste Management. They changed their name. So Republic takes all of their stuff to Waste Management for processing, so everything that Waste Management takes, Republic takes. So that's not necessarily what Ohio Valley takes, or what some of the other vendors might take. Just saying, they would take less.
But on page 40 of our, just so everybody's aware, page 40 of the bid document, it does, as Jennifer mentioned, ask the vendor to list what they will accept. And I guess that would be part of the decision-making process on who is the lowest and best bid.
And if you choose a vendor who takes less, you just have to remember that you're gonna have to educate your residents and let them know that they don't take, we don't take these things anymore, we only can take these other things. And I'm happy to help you with that, you can call and ask me, as long as I know what you take. I answer questions all the time about what's recyclable and what's not locally, so just offering that.
Thank you.
So any other questions on that?
I have one, Joe.
Yes.
Overall, do most of the service providers, do they have the same size cart, or should we not limit it to a particular gallon in our bid specs?
So in the bid specs, it says, I think, a 95 and a 65. Perhaps, they're all right around like 95, 94, 96. In the definitions at the back, I looked, and it said approximately 95, so it works.
Okay.
Right.
Because they do vary by a couple gallons here and there, but it's basically a 95-ish, a 65-ish.
Don't
And I
make sure
put
we're
it-
not locked in.
I'm sorry, and I put that at the beginning as well, under the scope of services, approximately, so it's the beginning and end of the document.
Yes.
So I guess the question, or Rita, I'll get to you in one second. The question that we need to kind of decide on is, do we eliminate on page 41 the first three options that Kevin had just mentioned? Document also needed some dates adjusted for the 8 weeks and the 6 months, but that seems to be the one thing that's maybe still up in the air, so I guess I'm asking everyone what their opinion is.
It sounds to me like it's probably going to be a cheaper bid if it's all inclusive compared to these people are recycling, these people aren't, or possibly eliminating recycling altogether. Which is why I assumed that years ago, we went with a plan that everyone was included with recycling because it was probably the best bid that we had.
So John, you're asking, the vendors are gonna, I'm asking, if the vendors are gonna be instructed to bid based on one number or a set of numbers based on no recycling and then with recycling.
No, I think we're saying it would just be one trash cart with one recycling cart.
Just put recycling into it now,
Yes.
into the bid
And
document
if the
now.
person doesn't want to recycle, they can not accept the cart, but it's available to everyone.
Yep.
All right, any other questions on council? I'll get to Rita here. Rita?
Hi,
Thanks
Rita.
for being patient.
Oh, no, not a problem. I would ask earlier, I didn't know she was coming, but, you said what, so it would be one trash cart, or one trash can and one cart for the recycling?
We would stick with, and I guess, again, just to reinforce, the carts are just garbage cans with wheels, because I think, and I gotta be honest with you, when this first came up, I was thinking of a cart like with wheels, and there's garbage cans in it, but it's just a garbage can with the wheels on it.
And that's for the recycling?
Correct, and you would be given a 95 or 96 gallon recycling, or garbage can as well. And you'll be able to choose either 1, 2, or 3 based on however much garbage
So
you
if
produce.
we weren't doing recycling, you would only get one trash can?
Correct, if you wanted to, yes, or you could get the recycling.
So
Or
you
you
only
could
put out
choose-
one trash can a week?
No, you can choose more than one trash cart a week. Like, I have,
Not trash cart, trash can, to put your actual garbage in.
that's what it is, so it's the cart, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
The cart is a can that has wheels.
Correct, that's just one for
Just
it.
one for
Toter.
it.
Probably to save for confusion, refer to cart for anything recycling, and you refer to can for your actual garbage. So I wanted to know, if you weren't doing recycling, how many trash cans for garbage can you put out? What's going to be in the bid?
You could, there'll be a price for 1 garbage can, 2 garbage cans, or 3 garbage cans. And
Okay.
I think there's even an option if you want even another one, there's an opportunity there. And there is bag service included as well.
Okay. And what is the price difference if you're saying that there's no garbage company that offers where a person can choose to get the recycling or not, that the city has to actually say either the bid's with recycling or not with recycling, what's the price difference then? So if I don't recycle, well, how much am I paying for everybody else to recycle?
Can I read up? Right now, you pay for recycling,
I know.
so it's the same thing. Like,
Well, if you go to a
do
different
recycle-
company, it might not be a different price. No, I don't, so that's why I want to know what is the difference. Right now, I don't know what the price difference is.
Well, I think she explained that, like, they can't do individual or.
Yeah, but she explained it and everything, and I understand that.
But
I'm
she can't give you
asking,
prices because she's not with a vendor.
She's not with the vendor.
She's with Geauga County. no,
Solid waste.
does
Solid
anybody
Waste.
know what the price difference is?
No, that's why they're going out to bid. They will say that when.
We'll find that out when we get the bid.
Nobody knows what it is right now with Republic?
No.
With
It's
Republic, we
included.
don't have an option to not recycle, we're already in that contract that includes recycling for all residents.
Whether you participate or not.
Until we see these bids, then we don't know what anything costs right now. That's what we just need to, we're deciding what we want them to bid for, and then we'll find out prices.
I will say though, that if you do choose to recycle, about 50% of what you throw away in any given week is recyclable. So you may not need a second can. If the people who didn't recycle before chose to just recycle water bottles or milk jugs or the very bulky things like cardboard and stuff like that, they may not need to pay for that second can because the recycling, which is already included in their pricing, is included in their pricing. So they would just put it, they would have that.
So you could potentially save money by reducing the amount of cans, by going from a 2-can to a 1-can because the can's bigger and therefore it
Yes.
evens out. is what
And the
you're saying.
recycling is included in the
Correct.
price, correct.
So just
I
to
think
clarify,
cans are more,
for
and
bag
other
service on here, would that be including, I would assume that's including recycling too, so
No,
if people do bag service, they can't recycle? Is that?
I don't believe they do now. What the bag service is for primarily seniors or single people who don't generate a lot of trash. So they buy, a roll of bags at a time, and several, I doubt.
Can I say something about that? I did the bag service at one time and paid the $20 for the bags. And I called Republic and I said, hey, I just want to do the bags, but I still want to recycle. And I think it was like $11 a quarter they
Cool.
charged me to do
Thank
the
you.
recycling. So I actually did that at one point.
Okay, so anyone that opts into bag service won't get an included recycling, but it's an option they could add on individually if they want.
It seemed like it, I mean,
With
at that time. I don't know what the new vendor will do, but.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is on page 41, we're gonna delete the first 3 lines, the 1, 2, 3 trash cans without the recycling option. And, the dates will get updated, and you'll send out a final draft, and everyone can take a look at it and provide any feedback. We've got a plan, and the bid opening will be March 23rd, and I believe based on the dates, the new service would get started on, I think it was September 30th
Yes, it was,
of this year. So,
yeah.
Jennifer, thank you so much. It's great to have a government agency coming out here to speak with us, because you don't have a vested interest. I feel like we can trust your information a lot more. So
Yes,
thank you so
and
much for
please,
coming.
once you get the bid packets, or if you have any questions, please, I could leave some cards if you want to call me, if you have any questions about any of this, I can help in any way I can.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you. All right, Rhonda, can I have a roll call?
So John, real quick, I just wanna, correct me if I'm wrong, we are voting right now strictly to advertise.
Yes.
Because the bid package is going to be revised, to which we're all gonna get a copy of the revision.
But it does need revised like tomorrow, because the date of the bid opening was Friday.
The bid posting.
The bid posting is Friday. I have to set it up tonight to get it in on Friday.
I will review it and amend it tomorrow. Anybody else who wants to look it over is welcome
No
to.
pressure.
Yeah.
Thanks for the clarification, Jim. Anything else? Okay, Rhonda, can I have a roll call?
Ellie McGregor,
Yes.
Chelsea Monroe,
Yes.
Kevin Pyros,
Yes.
Scott Rowley,
Yes.
Chris Waddley,
Yes.
Jim Bradley,
Yes.
John Bucuri.
Yes. Next up is ordinance O-3-26, an ordinance authorizing the City of Portland Service Department to purchase a used truck for water operations. This is the first reading submitted by the mayor. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Mayor?
Yes. We did an ordinance like this, similar to this, for the purchase of two used trucks last fall, okay? And what the situation is with this one, the service department would like to take the current truck that they use for water repairs and put the new camera assemblies in it. It's already wired, it's already set up, ready to go. And then they would like to purchase a new used truck to replace the water repair truck. And the reason, couple reasons they wanted to do that first, like I said, the current truck is already wired for use with the camera assembly can go ahead and move forward quickly. The other one is the truck that they're using, I don't know anything about trucks, but the GVW, the weight that it's allowed to hold is at its max. So it would make more sense for them to use this for the smaller assembly and get a little bit larger truck for the pipes and things that they need for water breaks. So, you know, there are some, it says not to exceed 30,000. You know, Joe thinks he's gonna be able to get one for around 20,000. The Goose wanted a little bit of a leeway there, so, you know.
Yeah, because that's what I was gonna ask you, if they looked and they know kind of that 30,000 is
Max,
the top that they would, okay.
yeah. So,
Okay, any questions?
Is this in addition to the ones they have, or are they gonna sell the one that they're?
the one they have that they're currently using is a 1984. So I don't know whether they're gonna salvage, you know, just get scrap money, but it doesn't have a whole lot of resale value.
Okay, any other questions? All right, can I have a roll call?
Chelsea Monroe,
Yes.
Kevin Pyros.
Yes.
Scott Rowley,
Yes.
Chris Waddley,
Yes.
Jim Bradley.
Yes.
Ellie McGregor.
Yes.
John Bucuri.
Yes. Next up, can I have a motion for the approval of Rhonda Horn, Clerk of Council, as Public Records Training Designee for City Council?
So moved.
Second.
All right, any questions on this? This is a standard that we've done in the past. Okay, Rhonda, can I have a roll call?
Kevin Pyros.
Yes.
Scott Rowley,
Yes.
Chris Waddley,
Yes.
Jim Bradley.
Yes.
Ellie McGregor.
Yes.
Chelsea Monroe,
Yes.
John Bucuri.
Yes. All right, next up are department reports, finance.
You have my monthly report, added a little bit of, there's no really fun facts in finance, but different verbiage that I use, since we have some new council members, I thought I'd add that in to the monthly reports. Right now, we're just winding down the year end. We are finishing up, a lot of the reports are due by the end of January, so that's basically what we're working on, and we've started, the budget today, so we're working on the new budget, and hopefully to have a finance committee meeting the first or second week in February, so we can get that on the second meeting in February. Actually, no, the first meeting in March, so.
Okay, any questions? Thank you, Beth. Police Chief.
All right, so, again, with the new council members, I'll try to offer up some tidbits of information. So, one of the bills you paid tonight on scheduled bills was Lexipol. That's a company we use for our policy. They have lawyers a lot smarter than us that write the policy, and they keep up to date with federal, state laws. Several years ago, council passed a resolution adopting Lexipol. One of the things I want to add with that is anytime we purchase equipment or services like Lexipol, because as you can see, it's not necessarily cheap, but it is for what we're getting. I like to have a funding mechanism behind it, and besides just tax dollars. So we get CPT money for sending officers to training. And Lexipol offers daily training bulletins on our policy, which we get reimbursed by the state for each hour that the officer does it. So overall, last year, we received about $10,000 in reimbursement money from the state for CPT. Now, that's not all because of Lexipol, but a large chunk of it is. So even though that price is high, that training reimbursement money kind of offsets that cost to give us a really good service at a minimal impact to the taxpayers. So that's my tidbit for tonight on some of the stuff we have in place. If you have any questions about Lexipol, or you ever want to see the program, it's a computer program, the officers have it on their apps on their phone, so they have it ready at hand. It's not a printed book that's buried somewhere that they can't get to. So if anybody has any questions about anything else pertaining to the police department, we'll be happy to answer that. If you want a personal tour of Lexipol, I'll be happy to show you that as well.
So Chief, the reimbursement is only for police officers, so we can't, like, us take courses?
Yeah, it's through the, it's for the OPATA, for the Ohio Peace Officer Training.
Maybe we could help you out or something by taking classes for you.
So.
All right, thanks, Chief.
Thank you.
Fire Department.
You said I'm wrong, chief. All right, the mayor and I met with Civil Service Committee, to look towards appointing my replacement. Also, from that, we're going to try to coincide a captain's exam with that. Should, one of the captains move up, and also a new employee to replace when someone moves, 2 employees or one moves up into the captain's position. So I'm working on getting that all together. We do the individual firefighter entry-level exam. We do that here, but for everything else, we use the Ohio State Fire Chiefs Association. So we don't, we handle nothing. No tests, no grading, nothing. We do an assessment center. That's what I'm trying to get lined up. I got the exam lined up. I'm working on getting the assessment center lined up.
Is it the one down on on the east side of Columbus, or is that, no?
No.
Okay.
No. I can't remember where they're at right off the top. I think they are Van Wert. No, they're not. I don't know. Worthington, somewhere like that. I don't know where their home offices
Isn't
are.
like the main big thing, isn't that Pickerington? Oh, no. I know I passed something with all kind of fire stuff.
Well, that could be something else, yeah. There's only a few people in the state fire chief's office. But other than that, you have my monthly report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
When are you planning to?
Is that me?
Am
I falling apart here? Good grief. I know I'm getting older, but when things start falling off, I guess it's time to go. My last day I can be here is July 24th. Actually, July 25th, but that's Saturday, so.
All right, any other questions? Thank you, Chief.
You're welcome.
All right, Service Department.
Kind of going along with mine. I found out this week that the $85,000 purchase price for the elementary school will be part of our 25% local match for the demo, so that's a good thing. I met with our new council members on Sunday, and we discussed the safety service complex for a couple of hours. I thought it was a great conversation. I spoke with DS Architecture and Infinity Construction today. They kind of wanted an update on what was going on since they realized that we got our money. And when the new council members and I spoke, we kind of decided that it will probably be good if we have a work session, then everybody's in the same room at the same time. Sure. And DS and Infinity would like to participate in that work session. So, if we could get that scheduled quickly, maybe like next week even, that will be good, and I can get that set up with them. Regular announcements, Sled Hill is open as weather permits. And then, kind of going along with, what Jen was saying, we can recycle. We have 3 cardboard recycling containers in the city, but we've been having problems with them because they're overflowing, and this has been going on for a little bit. So people are setting their cardboard outside the containers, okay? Well, it's not gonna get picked up by the recyclers, and what happens is it just flows into the creek behind the recycling container. So, we put an article in the e-news, and I'm just asking, you know, if you go there, please don't overfill the containers. You know, either hold it or take it somewhere else in the county. And if you go on their website, go ahead, it's a plug for you. What's your website?
It's startrecycling.com.
Startrecycling.com, it will give you all the locations of all the recycling centers in the county. So, if you wanna get rid of it right away, you can't hold on to it, and that's all I've got.
I can
Thank
tell
you.
you the closest recycling for that, because I've seen it filled, like, especially around Christmas time, Johnson Township has a bunch of them out there, so if they're overflowing, right behind the fire department, there's 6, 8, 10 containers out there for recycling, so.
Great, thanks, Mike. Okay, any committee reports or announcements from council?
Yep, go ahead, sorry.
Mayor, are we contemplating a snow parking ban since we're gonna get a ton of snow this weekend? I see other communities have already started the parking ban beginning like Saturday afternoon.
Sure, we can do that. Normally, we just wait for the police department, but we could do that.
I know it started as
Proactive.
2 to 3, now it's like up to 12 inches.
Wait, what?
Yeah, 5 to 8 and then 1 to 3 overnight, yeah.
So we didn't think.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, from none to.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions?
John, very quickly, on the work session, the mayor mentioned when that gets scheduled, I just want to make sure I announce that, that would be open to the public.
It would.
Because work sessions are open to the public.
It would.
I guess Mayor, Jim's kind of been spearheading this, for council, so maybe talk with him about when would be a good time to schedule that.
Okay.
Okay. All right, any committee reports or announcements from council? All right, next up, public comment. I'd like to open it up to anyone at the audience that would like to address council.
I will. Jerry Davis. John, thank you for accepting the position of council president. I see the first thing you instituted was a dress code.
Picture day.
Huh?
Picture day.
Oh, picture day.
Picture day.
I'm like, man, you put the hammer down now. I want to comment something that Patty said, HSA, $3,000 for maintenance.
I said that will last us for several years. It's about $80 a month. It varies between $79 and $80.50 a month. Because I've never,
Have you looked around?
it's,
Clients all the time that open HSAs and there's no maintenance. They don't pay interest on it, therefore they're using the money, that's how they make money. They shouldn't be paying, or they shouldn't be charging.
it's a
Maintenance fee.
service fee for the HSA that we transfer in and out of.
Yeah, you ought to look at other things. I mean, just a suggestion, I don't think they should be charging a fee.
I do know when I was in an HSA, we didn't receive interest, but the employee did pay. Every employee paid. We paid $2.50. And we're paying for all of the employees. The employees aren't paying, the city's paying, but, yeah, I just know we did.
Suggestion, look into it.
Yeah, I will.
That's all. I don't want to see the city taking advantage of it because we're government, when everybody else is paying nothing. One question on the garbage, I mean, over 4 meetings now, we've drilled this thing to death, probably about 2.5 hours of discussion. So I'm not talking about it per se. All I want to know is my bag gonna get picked up?
Yes.
That's all I want to know. Simple as that. Okay. All right, topic I would like to present to council for the benefit of new ones, don't smile. New ones, are you guys ready to go yet? Are you happy? For the benefit of the new ones, but I think it's for the benefit of everybody. The last meeting, which I wasn't here, so you got a break. Right? Council voted to approve ordinance 00226, authorizing an expenditure of $81,780 to demolish the existing salt bin and construct the base and foundation for the new salt dome. This ordinance, like many of the others, was done in emergency. I think, Joanne, you're gonna curtail those emergencies, right? That's your
Yes.
intent. This ordinance, though, states that it is to demolish part of the salt storage bin. In the November 3rd, 2025 minutes, the mayor states in response to Kevin Pyros, they're going to demo the 2 bins, they're going to leave one so we can continue to receive salt. Once the new building is complete, then they'll demo the remaining salt bin. So I'd like to ask anybody, can someone confirm whether the contractor is demolishing the entire existing salt bin as part of the contract award, if they're only demolishing part of the salt bin? Anybody know?
So, go ahead.
They're demolishing the whole thing in two sections.
In 2 steps?
Yeah.
So they are coming back? Okay. Because,
No, it,
Go ahead.
the people who are demoing are the people who are building the base, who was the company that's attaching the roof. So it's not like they're leaving and coming back, they're gonna be here and do the entire job.
so the entire existing salt structure will be demolished,
Correct.
right?
But
Yeah,
not
there was
until the
the-
new one's built, so you can transfer any salt to the new one,
I
correct?
think,
Okay.
yeah.
So I believe the original bid document, it mentioned that 2 of the 3 was going to be demolished. Then a pre-bid question came in, and there was an addendum after the fact that said that, yes, once the 2 are done and the new storage building is built, the 3rd one would be completed.
Okay, that was the confusion, because the ordinance, or for me anyway, because the ordinance itself stated under section 1, the company Miller Brothers to demolish part of the salt storage bin and construct a new base. So this kind of bounced back and forth. I don't think the ordinance was accurate from what you're saying.
I guess, Patrick, I would agree with that it does seem like that would be the case, but would the contract supersede the ordinance, or, you follow what I'm asking?
Yeah, the contract awarded would be for the construction of a salt structure, the base and the roof, right?
That's correct.
So, the subject matter is the same, I think it would be included.
No, this is only addressing, I'm only addressing
The base.
the destruction part of it, not the construction part of it. So our ordinance says only part of the existing salt structure is gonna be demolished. The original bid spec said part of it, and then there was, an addendum that said the whole thing, and then there was actually questions about what are we doing with the building, and then there's something about putting visqueen on it, because there won't be any siding. So I think it's, looking at this, not as an engineer, this whole thing was like really confusing, just to build a salt dome, and unclear. So I hope we don't come back with change orders, and, or bin 1 still there because somebody misunderstood or didn't bid it correctly, and no, we want, but I mean, because we got bids, wide-ranging bids. Maybe they misunderstood and didn't think that they had to come back and take the other one down. So, you guys
Like
are on
you have
notice.
to Palmer come and address this at the next council meeting?
I don't know if that's necessary, I think it's more just to confirm, with the company that was awarded that is their intent.
Because they didn't ask any questions.
Yeah,
The lowest, I
start
mean,
with the contract.
the companies that ask questions aren't the lowest bidder, and the lowest bidder didn't ask any questions. So I guess I'm wondering, like, what's their expectation to come in, or once they're in, hey, we get, because there's language in there about change orders and stuff. It's like, well, just like the water line, we're gonna add another $50,000 to take down the first part of it, and because it wasn't made clear.
So Chris, would GPD would confirm that?
Okay. The bids for the project, the base did not go out until last month, somewhere around the beginning of December. On November 3rd, council voted to approve 06425, also an emergency authorizing the expenditure of another $81,831 for construction of just the dome part of the project. The mayor states to council, guys, we need the emergency because we're trying to comply with an EPA H2 Ohio chloride grant. There's a 12-week lead time on this, and we need to get it started. She later states GPD is doing the base, it's already engineered, and they're going out to bid for that, which again, that didn't happen until the beginning of December. The bid stuff was mid-November, or the bid documents. There's a 12-week lead time. Okay, she later states GPD is doing the base, it's already engineered, they're going out to bid. I'm not sure if anyone knew that GPD engineered the base and that it cost an additional $5,000 via purchase order, which has been paid in full already. So it's another piece that was never discussed. Continuing, so we'll start that construction very soon, hopefully in November. I don't know how construction could start in November when we haven't gone out to bid until December. So, we got a former council member here, I guess for new council members and existing council members, here you're voting on stuff that, I mean, it's impossible to tie together based on what's being said in a council meeting. It should be completed by the end of January. In response to Councilwoman Fleischer, the mayor states to be completed by the end of January. The EPA was gracious and gave us an extra month on top of what we requested, February 2026. No one caught that statement to question what extension. Rob Freeman asked the mayor why the ordinance for the dome had to be an emergency. The mayor stated she just explained it. Freeman asked why didn't we do it in June, July, or August of last year. The mayor's response was, I was a little tied up with some other things at the time. Mayor, I would like to ask you if you could tell us what those other things were that had you tied up during June, July, and August that kept you from actually taking care of the business of the city in a timely manner.
That is the job of the service director. Okay, we had an interim who was also taking care of other business of the city. So, you know, we've been without a service director now 5 months, trying to do the best that I can. That's
Well,
all
he
I
was
can
here
say.
till the end of August,
Right.
so I don't
He
know.
was working on it.
The salt dome?
Yeah.
I don't, there was no mention in any of the minutes or issues related to that he was working on it. Beginning with the first ordinance for the dome on November 3rd, then the bid's not going out until early December 25 for the base, and then the ordinance for the base being presented on January 5th, 2026. To get this project fully funded and started took 2 full months via a piecemeal process of individual ordinances, bids, purchase orders, instead of everything being presented to council in one meeting collectively so that council and the public knew exactly what the project was, how much it cost, and when it would be completed. And it all has to now be completed by the end of February. Did they start anything yet?
I will mention, I drove by today actually, and I didn't even see any demolition done, so I am concerned about that deadline for sure.
So we have to complete it by the end of February because the extended grant date will expire. We're 16 months since the city was notified of the grant award. I said it early on that the mayor's haphazard piecemeal process of submitting ordinance to council in pieces over time makes it damn near, if not entirely impossible to track and know what ordinances apply to what projects and how much a project in total costs and when it will be finished, let alone the distinct possibility of if doing all these ordinances in pieces actually is done purposely to circumvent the bid requirements set forth by law. I talked about this before. We talked about multiple ordinance after ordinance after ordinance and change orders, and are we circumventing the bid process because somebody comes in with a low bid, has 3 change orders that exceed $80,000, and the project now is higher than what the highest bid was originally. I believe the majority, if not all of you, as well as former council members, didn't know what the total cost of the project is until you saw it or heard about it on the social media post that I did. The total cost now is $168,611. The original estimate from 16 months ago when the grant was received was $141,000. So one could probably surmise that this negligent delay in the performance cost the city an additional $28,000. And I know council we didn't know anything about this thing all last year. For some reason, an ordinance states that the cost will not exceed $160,000. One of those 2 ordinances we passed actually says that. The article in the E-News also stated $160,000. This is false. This misled the public and it misled the media because they reported false information. And unless someone, any of you, somebody from the public, whatever, takes the time to add up all the ordinances and actually catch that there's also an associated purchase order, there's no way to know what a project is going to cost. We have this wall of projects over here, and nowhere on the wall of projects does it state grant expired or what the deadline is. There's no way to run, this is no way to run or manage a business or your household finances, let alone a government entity like Cortland. I also believe that the majority, if not all of you, as well as former council members, did not know that the reference grant actually expired August 2025 until you also heard about that on a social media post that I put up. And that the mayor somehow had to come up with an excuse to ask for an extension by the EPA, which they granted until February 2026. Mayor, again, I'd like to ask what excuse you gave the EPA for why we didn't perform on the grant before it expired.
Because we have had 2 service directors and no service director in the past year.
Okay, so the grant was awarded and acknowledged by council September of 2024. We had Kim Blasko.
Right.
Until December. And then we had the make-believe service director from January through August. We didn't address the grant expiring. We didn't address it at all. I would have thought that we got it in September. By December, we went out to bid. We had the design, we went to bid, and we actually built the thing. April, May of 2025, when we did have the service director, alleged service director. There was no mention by the mayor of the grant expiring in any of the council meetings in August last year. The mayor also had the opportunity to mention that the grant had expired during the discussion on November 3rd, but didn't. There was no mention of the bids for the base in either of the December meetings, and once again, there was no explicit mention that the grant expired during January 5 meeting of 2026, necessitating a request for the extension to the grant. Council was unaware of all this, and here we are, late January, and we're under the gun again to finish a project before we lose grant funding that in fact we already lost, and somehow we got extended. The grant for the salt dome was acknowledged in the city in September 2024 by resolution. I would like to know, Mayor, maybe you just answered this, why bids weren't sought by December of 2024 and the project built in the spring of 2025, of which time we had a service director of some sort through that entire period.
Can't answer that.
Okay. If we would have done it,
These questions that you're asking, bringing up, normally would be brought up in TRC. But we hadn't had a TRC in pretty much most of 2025, a few, but not, we usually meet once a month, TRC, and we talk about ongoing projects.
why didn't we?
Well, those were among the schedule, but there's a lot
I mean, I know.
that I'm not gonna say.
Well, if you want to allow her to say, she can say it. I don't mind interruption.
It wouldn't matter if I'm on or off a council, but, there was a TRC meeting, I was told was canceled, then people weren't coming to TRC meetings. There was really no point to it, because council was told that, the service department and, anything under the service director, anything under administration was under the authority of the mayor and or interim service director, so we really had no say on that, is what we were told, so.
But going back to when the salt dome awarded, we did talk about
We did talk
those,
about it at that time, yeah.
Including the water main, West Main water main.
We were
and the
talking
salt
about
dome.
that stuff,
We-
but again,
So it was talked about, but then,
we knew about it, but, yeah.
And again, it's hard for you guys to follow all this.
but those are the types of things
I mean-
that come out in a TRC, and then it's relayed to council.
The fact is, we didn't have TRC, there were no meetings, the mayor wasn't working with council anymore. Things didn't get done. And the wall, I don't know why we don't have deadline, grant expired, grant extended. That wall's kind of useless. should have had the bids by December 2024, and the project built spring of '25 after winter, when we don't need to utilize the salt storage building and the weather's appropriate for excavation and pouring cement base and building the dome. Based upon the bid documents, the new has anybody seen the bid documents? You have, okay. So, the new dome is to be placed at a different angle to the existing structure, and one bit of the existing structure to remain, which allegedly will be torn down. I'd like to know if this project was done in the spring of last year, where the entire existing structure be torn down and the new dome built over top of the existing structure, instead of trying to find a way to build it at a less than suitable location, while at the same time trying to utilize 1/3 of our existing structure because we're in the middle of the winter and we need salt. Yeah, you'd probably be the best one to answer,
I
but
can't answer that, and I agree with you.
I think that
this is
should be looked at.
not the ideal time to be doing it. It should have been done when, not during
because
snow.
now the picture is they're building it at one angle, they're leaving the other one because we have to do salt, and then they're gonna tear down the other one. And honestly, I'd like to know if this was done in the summer, would we have just torn down the existing one and put it on top? Because where the new, where it is gonna be built now, it runs into a drainage, a sewer line or something, that also has to be moved, where it probably wouldn't have to have been moved if we built it over top of the existing structure. So are we really bending some ropes here to build it in a less than appropriate position because of a grant expiring?
There is no sewer line that needs to be moved. And Jerry, this is all what if.
I'm talking.
No.
So, there's an existing catch basin approximately 24 feet to the west of the back wall of the existing structure. The UGD pipe appears to run at an angle towards the building. Response to the existing catch basin will be relocated by the contractor as field directed by the engineer. Reconstruction to the existing storm sewer will be in accordance, So we are moving something because it's in the way. And this particular vendor caught that. I don't know if the one that actually got the bid knows any of this.
Well, the questions will go out to everybody.
Yeah, everybody
The
should
question,
have,
so they
everyone
get
should
the
have
answer?
that
Yeah.
So they're aware of it before they do the bid?
Yes.
So, yeah, any bid question.
Again, so
If I ask a bid question, everyone on the bidding list gets all the answers, so that
Okay.
everyone can bid the same way.
Okay. So again, I mean, I'd like to, I think it should be evaluated as to whether we're haphazardly throwing this thing together because of the grant deadline, where in fact it should, if we build it right, it should be in a different location, in a different position, maybe over top where the existing is, and I'll just leave that as a question. Okay.
GPD designed this for us. Chris Tolnar.
Again, GPD designed it because we're up, and put it where it is because we're up against another deadline for an expired grant. So that's my question to it.
I don't think he would forego his professionalism.
We're gonna lose the grant.
$75,000. Big deal.
No, actually 61,000, but we are up, I mean, it was said.
Actually, no, 71,000, or 75,000.
No, 61,000 as revised by John's ordinance.
I think the first item that we approved, it was 61,000 of the 75,000.
Yep.
And then the remaining portion is applied to the second.
There's nothing that
Correct.
says that, because you revised it and said out of the grant was 75% of the dome, 75% of the 61,000, the grant is up to 75,000. There's nothing on any of these ordinances that says a remainder is utilized anywhere.
Patty, that is the case, that it's 75.
75,000.
So we're gonna get to keep the whole 75, better,
Yeah.
because your documentation doesn't support
We will
that.
get reimbursed. Once we send in all our invoices and paperwork, it's a reimbursable grant.
And just so you know,
So-
Jerry, the location was, it was already selected, right? And we discussed that in August or whenever it was
Yeah.
before in TRC. The
You're
location.
placing it at a different location than the existing building?
Hmm?
Placing it at a different location than the existing building?
No, well, yeah, where they're gonna put it now. That's what was decided way back then by Kim.
Because it's in a different spot, okay.
Yeah.
So
Again, my question still stands, John.
So I guess I have a couple comments myself, and then I'll open it up if anyone else wants to comment.
So my notes have that it was supposed to be built in August of 2025. I can't answer why it wasn't. I agree that this is absolutely not the ideal time to be doing that. It should have been done when they're not trying to perform snow and ice operations. I guess I am a little concerned about the deadline, being that because I knew this had come up in social media, that it hasn't even been demolished yet, so I think there is a concern there. I also, I guess I would ask moving forward, because this has happened a couple times, letting us know when things like this happen, like, council should not be finding out about this extension because a news reporter calls or because there's a Facebook post. And the same thing happened with the EPA violation back in, I think it was October, late September. And I had mentioned to Kevin that I found out about it from social media and the news, and that was something else that, I think council should be made aware of.
On
in
December
advance.
15th, when Tobar was here, you're questioning rightfully the third change order, and you asked for additional time, and the response was, we don't have additional time because the grant expires tomorrow.
So, I will tell you, Jerry, there's some things that I have as council president put in motion. We're not quite there yet, but I created a tracking sheet moving forward. I mentioned this when the garbage contract expired and nobody knew about it, that we needed to get some type of tracking system in place because, fire chief's gonna be leaving, there's probably some grants and some different contracts that he has that cover several years, just to start tracking that, and it does, and the mayor's looking at it. I gave it to Jim and Rhonda to take a look at it as well, before we show it to the rest of council. But it has project, and it has contract and grants.
Put it on
So
the wall.
each project, we should have a very clear understanding of what is the cost, what contracts are associated with it, what resolution, what ordinance authorized it, and then grant funding, how much is the grant amount, who is it with, who's in charge of it, when is the expiration date, when does it have to be completed by, and then even like for the OPWC funds that we go after for asphalt resurfacing, when is the next cycle, when do we need to have an application in? So it sounds like there is a lot on here, but that's my goal, is to create a tracking sheet so that it's crystal clear, and we don't have these kind of problems moving forward.
And honestly, thinking about some of the comments in past meetings about it's not my job, it's their job or her job, and the charter doesn't go, that's really not council's job either, is it? But you're doing it to make sure council's aware of what's going on.
Yep.
It would be the service director's job, and we don't have.
You're the service director.
Well, to be clear, this is for everyone, all of the department heads. Because like I mentioned, the chiefs have things that they're dealing with, and even with, the grants, that's sort of in the finance department's group. So this will cover all the departments, and then my vision is that this shows up in the monthly reports moving forward,
And
so that
everybody
it's
gets
top
to
of
see
mind.
it. Yep, so we don't have to,
Can I ask
hopefully we don't have to
for
do
that
this
real
anymore.
quick?
Yes.
I have to do a SEPA every year, schedule expenditure for awards. I have a grant tracking sheet, so I have on mine. Is that gonna be one that we can share, like do on a OneDrive, or
Yeah,
that everyone can share, so when someone updates it, we all have the same information?
So that's kind of up to the administration, how you, and the department heads, how you want to do it. I just am thinking this is the information that I think council wants to see
Yeah.
moving forward. And this could be tweaked. This is just my first, crack at it.
I think it's great, and I think if we have one, that would be even better, so like, it's one big one that everybody has, instead of I have my own, just for the finance. But one thing, a column for federal or state would be good, and then that way,
I assume the mayor will share this with you, and
Yeah.
you can, add some columns that we
May I ask her a question?
me?
Hold on, let's go ahead.
The fire chief and the police chief, the fire chief has a captain who will be moving up to the fire chief. So there's somebody already there that knows the grant cycles and all that kind of stuff. The police department has the same thing. I'm sure Weston knows the grants that you guys normally apply for. There is no one without the service director that knows when this stuff is due. I mean, I do, but it's not, you
But
know.
I guess I go back to, Jerry had mentioned earlier, before that, this particular grant was received when Kim was here, and then it said it was supposed to be done by August of 2025 based on the notes from the TRC meeting. So there was somebody in place, it just didn't get done, and that's why I think we have to have something in place. I mean, the garbage contract is another perfect example of, hey, it expired in August of 2025.
That's my
Sean
next
Radican-
paragraph.
Sean Radican was here then, and again, because now we know that we need 6 months to execute, 2 months to advertise, part of, one of the columns on here is, when does the next contract need to be put out for advertisement? So the advertisement shouldn't be August of 2025, it should be the end of 2024. So I guess we're working on it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, that you're,
You want to stand up and give your name?
Mary Beth Albio. Just before it gets washed over, I guess I'm still taken aback that, Mary, you just acted like a $75,000 grant of free money was hogwash, not a big deal. I mean, is that how you meant for it to come across? Because
No,
that's what you had
that's
said.
why I called the EPA to get it extended.
Okay, well, you might have called to get it extended, but right now you were like, $75,000, big deal. That's what you said, which makes it seem like it's nothing.
It is something. I'm quite sorry, but I apologize.
John, could I interrupt and ask her Patty question?
Quickly,
And then I'll go on, and we finish up. Back with respect to all the ordinances and the piecemeal and and you don't get a picture of the entire cost of a project or when it's gonna get done. Patty, is that hard for you to keep track of also? Let me ask you this, would you like to see it where all the ordinances related to the project all come to you basically at the same time? So that not only council knows what the total cost is and where all the funding is and where the money is, but does it make it easier on you?
It would be.
Thank you.
I mean,
Go ahead.
sometimes and I don't wanna play light of it, but sometimes that's how it is how it is. Like, this was, because it was a dome and then a building, it was two different contracts.
We've had other
Yeah.
stuff that was
So.
multiple pieces and multiple ordinances and so forth. So,
Yeah.
as John alluded to for me, the garbage contract also expired in August. When should the mayor have been working on getting bids and negotiating a contract before it expired? Maybe back in March or April, at the same time the salt dome should have been being constructed. Now we're almost 6 months without a garbage contract and literally at the mercy of Republic Services because they can pick up and leave at any second. On top of that, they believed they were going to have a contract because the mayor had been negotiating with them unilaterally without the approval or consent or knowledge of city council. And I wonder honestly if this unilateral negotiation with the public might have put us in legal jeopardy if Republic in the end doesn't get a new contract. It's just a question. Because I think they were under the assumption they were gonna get a contract. So, who didn't have a contract expire? Do you know who had so many contracts, we couldn't even keep track of them? Every 4 months, there was a new contract or revision to a contract? The mayor put those contracts and gave those priority over grant expirations, EPA violations, the garbage contract, city employee contracts expired, and the list is never ending. I'm not gonna go any further into everything that happened last year, but as I think it's pertinent to this. We are here right now because of what happened last year. Radican and Jing, their best interest in economic gain took all priority over everything else in the city. Radican and Jing are the reason the mayor stopped working with council all the way back to January 2025. They are the reason for the contentious work sessions and council meetings. the threats of rescinding alleged professional courtesy, the email investigation of council members, the threat of legal action against council members. And almost 6 months after they are gone, we are still feeling the effects of Radican and Jing and the priority the mayor gave to them over the city. There's no excuse why the dome wasn't built, the garbage contract wasn't done, the employee contracts weren't done, but Jing and Radican have contracts repeatedly that never expired. Basic leadership skills entail working with colleagues, dialogue, updates, coordination, keeping track and honoring deadlines, following the law with respect to expenditures and bidding requirements, organization of projects, costs, and timelines. We have a wall full of projects giving an appearance to the public of progress. Nowhere on the wall does it show grant expired, completion time expired. Maybe we need a place on the wall for EPA violation deadlines too. At this moment, Mayor, you couldn't build a salt dome on time, let a grant lapse, and let a garbage contract lapse. There's no way anyone should feel comfortable or have any bit of confidence that you could build a $10 million safety complex. For those of you that don't know, I introduced the mayor to politics 25 years ago.
No, we didn't.
I'm gonna talk. I recruited her to a vacant seat on council, and during the remainder of my term, we worked together with the same ideals, we had the same goals, and together we fought a mayor at the time that acted in much the same as this mayor has acted now. The mayor and I both voted to hire outside legal counsel to represent the city and city council in combating the actions that the newly elected mayor at the time was taking that were in her best interest, not the city's best interest. We were both named in a lawsuit by Melissa Long because council was not giving her away. She acted very much in the same way that the current mayor has acted the past few years. I'm the mayor and you're not. We both voted to appoint Patrick Wilson as law director, and here we are 25 years later, and Patrick is still the law director. I believe 25 years in politics is way too long. It's hard to keep focus on why a person is in politics and becomes too easy to be persuaded and make things about me and not those you are elected to serve. As many have sat here and complained that meetings go on too long, I heard that exact same comment 25 years ago. Did anyone get elected with the expectation that all they had to do was attend the meeting 2 times a month for 20 minutes? And I hope the new ones did not. Did anyone become mayor?
I don't wanna go, hold on.
Just call me
Jim,
out,
Jim.
man, when, I'm the one who says those things. and
Well,
it's-
hold on.
Yeah, no, but I mean, geez.
So Jerry, I do wanna make sure, like, I'm giving you some discretion here with the time,
I'm
but
done.
I just wanna
I'm
make sure,
almost.
like, we don't focus too much on the past, but I'll let you.
I'm almost. Being a politician also comes with the responsibility to know when to quit. In order to do that, one has to have the ability to look at who they are supposed to serve and why, and recognize when they've made the position solely about them. When someone from the audience asked the mayor if she was going to resign, her reply was, "No, I'm not resigning. I have all these projects," pointing to the wall, to complete. That statement itself, Mayor, says, it's all about me. I have work to do. It has nothing about the residents or the day-to-day operations of government that must be completed as required by the position. And we've just experienced now all this stuff that's late. What's transpired in the past 2 years has to come to an end now. The city needs a new mayor who, along with new leadership and city council, can get the city's business back under control and collectively move the city forward, accountable to the residents. John, thank you for the time to present that.
Is there anyone else from the audience that would like to address council?
Jack, 3 minutes. It's kinda hard following up on that one. First of all, is there anybody here from the water department? I don't know anybody from there.
First name and address.
Oh, sorry, my name's Acton Beach Drive. Whoever called me from the water department and said, hey, I think you got a problem with your toilet, God love them. Very stupid, expensive water bill
That'd be
because of that.
third department.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nobody was more surprised than me when I got my water bill.
I think I'm the one that actually talked to you.
Well, you almost gave me another stroke. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump around here a little bit, I'll get that out here. First of all, Chief Ray, I know you're about to go. Congratulations, many Disney trips, and do what you gotta do. I work hand in hand with both Chief Ray and Chief Morris many years. I believe Chief Morris met me when I was 16. Yeah, teenager, doing the cadet thing. We butt heads at times, but at the end of the day, these guys are class act. I had a stroke when I turned 40 years old. First person, and I'll say it jokingly, because some people will take offense to it. The last person I want to see before I'm trying to check out is Dave Morris. But he was the first one to come busting through my door, help me out, I appreciate that. I do just want to touch on a couple of things here. Just going back to, a few months ago, I didn't make last meeting, I know you guys had a lot of stuff going on, change in regards, whatever it might be. When we were talking about the service department jobs, I know one of them was civil service, correct? Is it for an operator's job that they said was civil service, that they were gonna be posting?
Eventually, yeah.
Okay, so my question is, when's the last time we did a civil service test for the service department?
I don't know, a
Okay.
very, very long time.
So-
I don't even know if one was ever done.
Okay, so with that being said, you have an operator in there right now, making more money than all the guys on the road. It's not civil service. So why don't you put on a civil service test and go from there? The other statement that I have is, maybe take a look as a whole, just to say, I'm not a political guy, just to save face on everything and say, hey, you know what, let's do it the right way. Chief Ray is going for civil service, having other people step in, so his hands are off completely of it. Other cities will utilize, hey, okay, we're gonna use person A, B, and C to sit on this panel, but we're also gonna bring 1 or 2 residents from outside. The city of Warren did the thing when they were promoting. They brought in panels of chiefs and whoever from wherever it may be, but they also brought the residents in to have their input on some stuff. So it's another set of eyes that doesn't look like nepotism. Through all of this stuff, I know that, who is our current superintendent, Mr. Minor? Okay, I know you said he removed himself because his daughter was thinking about applying. At that point, she would be disqualified right away.
Correct.
So there's no point in him removing himself from that.
Well, there was the nepotism legislation came after he removed himself, so.
So nepotism it shouldn't even be legislation, it's common sense, and that's my opinion only. Mayor, I believe you told me you took the 4 most qualified out of 10 in
Pastor,
the interview.
should we be discussing this on the floor?
Ma'am, I'm asking you questions here.
Well,
I mean, these questions are relatively general. so-
Yeah, they're general, I'm not
Okay.
pointing fingers at
We
anything.
can't talk about any particular person.
No, and I will not put out names of anybody.
Lance, I do
whatsoever.
wanna say, like, I don't wanna have an open debate on the council floor, like, this is a comment period, so if you wanna give testimony.
Sure, I mean, I guess the comment would be is, you know, maybe moving forward, we look at council and maybe the residents to have an input. So that way, it's not just, you know, no disrespect to you, not saying, oh, the mayor just grabbed these 2, and John grabbed these 2, and Jim grabbed these 2, and go from there. I had a councilman tell me, I don't even recall seeing your resume, which is strange to me, because there's only 10, it's not like there's 100. You know, looking at it here, some of the people that we hired, the most qualified, were people that work in a kitchen. They worked in kitchen and food prep. We have one absolutely that had a CDL and everything like that. Another one that we looked at, and it's no disrespect to any of these, worked in a warehouse and he was an office clerk. One of them that we did hire, and again, I'll leave the names out, incomplete resumes. If you can't take 5 minutes to write your work history in there, and all you do is write C resume, I'd be kind of looking at that. I just want the public to know about this. We did pass up on some people that have CDLs. I believe one of them we called out one of them was called out by the mayor for the nepotism policy, which would not fall under the nepotism policy because the councilwoman, she doesn't do the hiring and firing. She wouldn't do anything with that other than, okay, she's a part-time councilwoman. It's what it is. Her husband's a mechanic. He works on diesel mechanics. He works on school buses. He's got CDL. I mean, there's crazy stuff here. There's guys that laborer A, laborer B, foreman, owner, you know, and all of this stuff. When I asked you, this gentleman was qualified in.
Hey, Lance, if you could, let's not go into people's resumes on the council.
Okay, no, I'm just saying, there's plenty more qualified candidates, and I will leave these for the councilman if they want to see it. That way you can kind of get the gist of where I'm at, and maybe not all of them were looked at. It seems like they took, okay, we've got 2 here, and then we've got 2 with minimal to no experience at all. Because it seems to everybody else that's applied they already knew who they wanted. So maybe just in general, open it up to maybe some of the public sitting on the board if they want to do that.
And I'll just say again, that there was a council member, the assistant superintendent, myself interviewed those people, so it wasn't,
And one of the people that sat on that panel was the one that said, I don't recall seeing your interview, or seeing your application or resume come through. That's where I'm saying maybe you should have an outsider look at it too, just to level everything off. That's all I'm asking.
Understood.
Thank you.
Thanks for your comments. Anyone else like to address council?
John, I do have a question before we wrap up. How are we on salt?
we still have the extra 10%, or actually, they bumped it up to 15%, and we can get 2 more loads for an additional $15.
So we aren't having any trouble getting.
Well, after
salt
we
loads?
get this, after we get our next load, then we're gonna have to pay a premium.
Okay. All right, thanks.
It is what it is.
Can we get those through another source that maybe like the county or something? Is that-
County has none. I was at the county yesterday, and they have what they have for the county, and they're not even giving any to the townships, any additional townships, so. Because of the winter we're having, everybody underestimated the amount of salt they were gonna need, so.
Which is why we're following our protocols with how we salt the roads to try to keep it going.
Yep.
John, real quick, Chris Bass, 20 Cricket Lane. The road department does a great job. I know they get bashed on social media and stuff, whoever can pass it along, it is greatly appreciated, the work they put in. You know, I know they're working all hours of the night and this and that, I just wanna say thank you. So if you can pass, Mayor or John, if you can pass it along.
I certainly will, I'd
Thank
be
you.
happy to.
Thank you, Chris. John, I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session to discuss employment.
Second?
Roll call.
Scott Rowley,
Yes.
Chris Watley,
Yes.
Jim Crossley,
Yes.
Alan McGregor.
Yes.
Chelsea Monroe. Kevin Carter.
Yes.
John Fisher.
Yes. We will not be making any decisions during the executive session. We will not be making any coming out of it. So when we come back, we will simply adjourn, and that will be the end of the meeting. Thanks, everybody.
Yes.
Jennifer, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you.